I will just point him to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In case in mind, they asked him to test the microphone. He leaked it. I mean, I just want to define things by example. I don't want to go start conjuring words when I have an Olodo nearby to just point at and say, this is what an Olodo looks like.
So you have a personification of the word.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I thought this was supposed to be a soft conversation.
It is actually. Is it not suiting to the ears? From my own point of view, I've never engaged in any conversation that is as soft as this, right? Where you could just, no long talk, what is an Olodo? And then you just point, say, look at Bola Ahmed Tinubu licking the microphone. If it's Velele will say a microphone licking in bedside. Right?
Right. Okay. Let's digress for a bit. Right?
Yeah.
Let's switch over to corn. So I'm the president of Nigeria, and my first lady has been told to come and speak, and then as part of it, she's telling people that you should go and invest in akara business and corn business. I think that's I think it's a good ground for divorce.
No. So why would you do that, right? Remember, na family business with this, right? Bola Ahmed Tinubu loves corn more than any other thing. Don't forget, he's called the Agbado Master. Oh, yeah. He's the one that said, recruit 50 million Nigerian youth. What would they be eating? Cassava, corn, gari, agbado. So there's something, corn, I don't know how to quantify it. That family, right? They have a history with corn, right? Yeah. The dad has always been particular about corn. I mean, it's synonymous to corn. Anywhere you see corn, you can replace it with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, and we've seen that happen several times when they want to mimic, the APC Olodo crew. They just bring corn, right? When you want to say somebody has been bought over, you just say the person has corn in his pocket or in his mouth. So you should not be surprised. Yeah. So you should not be surprised when the first lady goes out there and asks women to start corn business. It runs in the family, though.
So are you saying they're going to, if they want to do that literally now, so they would gather money, set up a loaning system, and say this money is for you to start your akara and corn business in this in this present day and time?
Yeah. So are you surprised? We've seen something like that play out with the trader money now, where they give out 10K trader money. That money in akara, if you use and run that year now. But even now, say 10K no if you start your akara business. So I don't know.
So about 50K.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to this uprising, right? Well, I think it's a serious problem we're facing. If it's being called out now, and then the reaction over social media is quite unique, because I think this is the first time that Nigerians are beginning to realize that, wow, it looks like if we have a pandemic of Olodos in our hand. But if you want to think about it, if you have 30 million Nigerians out of school, that is already a country of Olodos on its side. Because they're not going to do anything. Apart from infused knowledge, which is not going to get you anywhere these days, you are really just waiting for a keg of gunpowder waiting to explode on a high-level Olodo reason, or what kind of word we can use to quantify that.
Yeah. Just like you said, these guys are actually a menace, right? You can find them in every sphere of life, right? Some are governors, some are lawmakers. I mean, we've seen lawmakers who could not even, put out a motion, right? They could not say, Mr. Speaker, I I stand with the eyes, or I want to defend this motion. I mean, we've seen that play out, on different instances, right? We've seen plenty of Olodos in the house, right? We've seen Olodos that are governor. Not that I like to point finger, but we have one.
We have a few. We have one main one.
Yeah,
the one who promised insecurity.
The one that promised insecurity
and took children to go and see a newly built flyover.
Exactly, and admonish schools to be taking students for excursion. That's a serious Olodo uprising, situation we have in our hand there. Like Edo people, like, how do you guys cope? Like, if you're an Edo person, please, come tell us how you cope with, the grand patron of Olodo you have in Edo State as your governor. Right? Grandmaster of Olodos.
I think the fact that it's come out, the timing is very good, because this is something that can take a very good cause in sanitizing our educational system, if we want to be pragmatic about it, right? Because you can't have a cancer and be treating it with something else. So if you call out something, the worst case scenario is people will talk about it, right? And the best case scenario would be people really analyzing it and trying to find a solution. And at this point in time, the solution is we saying, is this really true, right? So in my opinion, now I can ask you the question: do you think that Nigeria has a problem with Olodos?
Yeah, so we actually do, right? I mean, recently we saw that on X that Nigerian students who actually qualified for the mathematics Olympiad could not go, right? Because they claim there was no fund to actually sponsor them. That's like entrenching the Olodo culture. We have monies to actually sponsor Hajj. We have monies running in billions to rehabilitate terrorists, but we don't have monies to actually sponsor our kids to be part of, some sort of life-changing opportunities, right? That could actually, trigger something in their minds, rejog, their heads and all that, right? That's like Olodorism entrenching itself. If you look at the educational sector, right, over time, JAMB has had to bring down its cutoff mark. That's appalling, right? Before you got admission, you needed to get like 250, 230. If you even get 200, you would cry, say you fail JAMB, right? But now we see cutoff mark. They even cut 100. In some instances, they cut 80 for Polytechnic. That's the spirit of Olodo rising taking over the academic institutions. And these things are not funny, right? We see it like we've seen, deliberate attacks on schools by, these terrorist guys, right? Schools are their main target. Why? Because they want more Olodos in the society.
That's true. And that's true though. Honestly, I didn't really look at it from that point of view. That is the absolute truth. Honestly, unless someone else thinks differently, that's one way to look at it. But then there's the arrested development, where they cut school system for months, and then what do you expect to come back? You expect the students to just pick up from there? No. Majority of those people have forgotten what they learned, so they'll go back and just wing it and just black their way through without even thinking about it. Sometimes we don't try, Nigeria. We don't really try. If we want to give ourselves that slap on the wrist, we don't really try. And there was one example. Somebody, I think it was on X, I was listening to today, when the guy was saying, if you want to just judge the Olodo level, just go to a different conversation and see the comment section, and the kind of things we put on the comment section sometimes, it's just appalling. There's no depth to it. There's no focal point. It's just like we're just entertaining ourselves all the time. And that's, for me, that is another big problem. It's like the country is burning and then we're describing the fire. So, no, the fire is yellow. You want to say it's blue. You want to say, no, it's not hot enough. All that kind of stuff. And that boils down to this level of this Olodo thing we're talking. The uprising is real. Anyhow, we like it. You have to look at the people we call our superstars these days, right? From our artists.
So you just want to break this table. I say let's shake this table. Let's just shake this table. Let's just shake this table this evening, but you finally want to break the leg.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question directly. Which Nigerian artists do you find inspiring at this point in time? Not because of their money, but because of what they actually sing about. Please name one.
None, actually.
Bingo. Now, even platforms like this, and then the music industry, they target Africans and Nigerians in particular, and they kind of push the content because for them it's big business, right? They're not going to push your content if you're bringing levels of inspiration or nation building or the whole works that will make things progress. No, they won't. They will suppress that one way or the other. But come out here and start shaking your booby or saying something derogatory and just being a clown. Wow, you're hitting 5,000 views. You're hitting 10,000 views. They're giving you more money to do this nonsense. But that's not how it flows in China. Even in America and the UK and all these things, those things they have their place. They will call it what it is. This is just stupidity. So why do we have to accept it? That's the question. Why?
I see it as we're currently in the land of Olodos. Too many Olodos on the loose. And what do you expect in such a society?
Well, there's two ways to look at it, right? I would not classify someone who is extremely creative as an Olodo, 100%. I wouldn't do that because creativity demands you really going deep dive and then bringing out something, and then it's so creative, you can see the passion in it, right? And then there are the ones who just sees an opportunity. Maybe they just managed to buy a phone, and then there's TikTok or there's YouTube, and they'll be like, wow, look at my stupidity, here it goes. And then they showcase their stupidity, and guess what? Because you have a lot of stupid people, and then they have a huge fan base. It goes back to that story about your grandfather being afraid of idiots. Yeah, because if you put a bunch of stupid people together, at some point they will elect a president who's the king of stupid.
Exactly. So and that's how we ended up with a microphone leaking in Versailles, according to Velele.
Well, there you go. That's one way to look at it. But then again, you look at the person who looks like there's one particular guy from Warri that impoverishment might be a problem when they impoverish people and they can't think for themselves, right? And this is all systematic as well. So this guy was trying to be a pastor. He was just trying to hustle. He tried preaching, he couldn't preach. He tried singing, he couldn't sing. And then one day he was looking at his friend. He was like, I sabi rap. And he went and started rapping. You know what I mean? It's just there's so much angle to this thing that is frightening. But if listen, to be fair, we're not the smartest bunch. Because if we were, we would not be in this situation as a country. So anyhow you look at it, we're not the smartest bunch. But why should we allow people who you clearly know do not have the capacity to lead? And this is from all government parastatals. not just the one at the top. Filter it down to your governors, your local government chairman, even some CEOs and all that. But how do we allow these things happen? So the uprising, in a good way, if we're being objective about it, I think it will help purge this nonsense. I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh.
No, so you're not being too harsh, right? The effect of Olodos in a society cannot be overemphasized, right?